has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
That's what she said!
Alright guys, it's me, the Nerdy Hero. Today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, I just saw the movie the other day, and it's spectacular. Now, after 30 years, the film finally returns, now with Disney's owned it, directed by J.J. Abrams, who does a fantastic job with this. Now, it's been 30 years since the last Star Wars film, not counting the prequels. It's been 30 years in a time stream, so after the events of Return of the Jedi, 30 years later, now we are here on the planet of Jakku, where the film starts off. Was that a spoiler? No! Whatever. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, so I will be treading carefully here. But a lot of things I cannot say about the film, because I do want people to experience it in the theater. What happens in the comments, that's out of my control, for the most part. So now the film has a lot to catch us up on, while giving us exposition as everything that's happening in the film and introducing new characters. There's a lot to do in this film. Let's talk about the plot. I don't want to reveal too much of the plot because honestly, in all the marketing that Star Wars has done this past year, they have not revealed their plot. And now that I've seen the movie, I can see why. And I don't want to tell you what this plot is because again, they didn't reveal it, so I'm not going to. But it's very similar to the plot of a previous Star Wars film. And now people may say that's very cheap and cheap of them to do, but honestly, if you look at it, the cup half full, it's a good way to grab audiences from something they recognize and then after this film and the next film, they start heading in a new direction. I want to talk about the characters a little bit. Now, certain characters I can talk a lot about, certain characters I have to stay very mysterious about until you see the film. But let's talk about Finn. Now that's a very good choice of using him as a stormtrooper. Wait, is that a spoiler? Whatever. It's in the trailer, I guess. He's a stormtrooper who kind of snaps out of it, goes on his own journey to figure out how he can get away from the First Order. And that's where his motives really lie. They're not really as heroic as you would think. They're really more about him being scared of the First Order and wants to leave. And wants to try to hide and go away. And he runs into Rey and BB-8, which I'll get more into them in a second, but he, goes through this journey and slowly finds more courage in himself and blah, 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 blah. He is one interesting character. Now I want to talk more about BB-8. BB-8 was borderline adorable. I was really worried, like, how are you going to have a ball droid that's just going to roll around everywhere? What about ladders or going up steps and stuff? And they really show you how he moves around. It's really cool. It's really interesting, actually. And you're going to fall in love with him. And there's lots of humor in this movie. And BB-8 was the center of a lot of it. A lot of humor was done by a lot of characters. Bringing another character into mind would be Poe Dameron, played by Apocalypse. And he was super charismatic throughout the whole time. He's very Han Solo-like in his approach and his demeanor, but at the same time he's not a copycat of Han Solo, which is something they did really good in this movie. Nobody's a copycat of the original cast. The original cast comes back as well. Carrie Fisher as Leia, she's back. She does alright. Harrison Ford as Han Solo alongside Chewbacca as well were amazing. The two of them were just right back at it like nothing had changed 30 years later. Their chemistry just worked perfect. They were just doing all these awesome action scenes together. Then let's talk about Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, he may be my favorite character of the whole movie. Maybe, I'm not sure yet. But he's nowhere near another Darth Vader. That's what a lot of people were worried about, that he would just be another Darth Vader. But honestly, he came off across as very different, his very own character, very own problems and issues and history, which they do reveal. And they do reveal it, not even 1/3 into the movie, they reveal his history like nothing. But his character, if I had to describe him in a short phrase, would be childish or a crybaby. But that's not in a bad way. He may be my favorite character of the whole series because the way he approached things, the way he had issues, he dealt with his anger, he dealt with temper tantrums that were at some parts funny and some parts very scary. How he's super powerful. They even mentioned that his training is not really complete, so he's still learning. At the same time, he's trying so hard to be Darth Vader, and they even bring it up later in the movie. He keeps kissing butt to the character Supreme Leader Snoke, which is a very mysterious character played by Andy Serkis right here. If you don't recognize him, that's how good of an actor he is. He's played basically everything. Another aspect of Kylo Ren is how he's always trying to one-up General Hux. General Hux being the leader of the First Order. And with him and Kylo Ren, the two of them are non-stop bickering back and forth. Unlike how Darth Vader was in the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope, alongside the other general in that movie, how the two of them worked together. In this movie, the two of them are back and forth. And then we got my favorite character, if it's not Kylo Ren, will be Daisy Ridley as Rey. Rey came across very, I don't want to say weak, I want to say more like innocent, where she was just living on Jakku, going about her day-to-day life, when this droid just comes out of nowhere into her life, and a little while later we also meet Finn, who also comes in, and they go on this adventure together. And with that, she starts learning more about herself and what events caused her to be where she is today, and it's really hard not to spoil things. Daisy Ridley by herself also has not had much acting experience besides maybe one small acting gig she had before. This was like the biggest thing she's ever done, and and she did fantastic in it. You were sold the entire time. She was wonderful. Plus, she's like really cute. This movie did do a lot of good things when it comes to setting up really cool stories and plot devices and mysteries that will be solved in future films. So it's a good way of setting up future films while as well being its own individual film and holding on its own. And right now it's currently destroying at the box office right now. So there are some faults in this film when it comes to CGI in a couple spots were a little certain characters a little bit. They did do a lot of practical effects, which really brought the film much more to life. It wasn't filled with tons of CGI when it comes to characters. Another issue I had with the film is, again, it did copy, not point for point, but a lot of the moments, a lot of the story itself was copied from a previous Star Wars film, which I won't mention. And again, I said the good points of something like that, and the negative, you kind of can guess what's going to happen next. So besides that, the film is really cool, and I can't wait to see more of it and see more of these actors as they progress as well, these new actors. Alright, for my final thoughts, I give this film about a total of 4.6 out of 5 nerds. Yeah, I don't have a rating system, this is my first review, so I'm going to give it nerds is my rating system now. 4.6 out of 5 nerds. Alright guys, that's my review of Star Wars The Force Awakens. You can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and remember, you can like, comment, and subscribe right here on this YouTube channel, and you can even comment right now and tell us what you thought of the movie. Try not to spoil anything, alright guys? And remember, stay nerdy, my friends.
And they say that a hero